Welcome everyone to our Monday motivational call. I feel like I'm doing this quite often, and I'm acting as my sister because she's on vacation again. I don't know. I think I'm going to need to do some things differently here so I could be the one on vacation and she on the call. I'm just saying. What do you think about that, Lena? Right? Yeah. Okay, so as always, we're going to get started with just welcoming our new team members. We have 148 new team members, so congratulations to you all. Hopefully you're all on the call. If not, hope that you get on the recording. We have some rank advancements this week. We have a new Emerald, Jacqueline Hemingway. Congratulations, Jacqueline. We have 2 new diamonds. We have Michelle Avila and Rocio Villanueva. Congratulations, ladies. We have a new 1-star diamond, Giovanna Premack. Congratulations. I know that's like a really challenging just to get from diamond to 1-star diamond. It seems like it takes a while for it to happen. So congratulations, because I know a lot of hard work went into that. And the next one, I am so proud of, not because I have anything to do with it, but because I love her dearly, and she's such a great, mentor, I think, for a lot of people on this team. She's a great leader. She's so positive. She says she's shy. I don't know about that. Introvert, I forgot what word she uses, because I think there's a difference between shy and introvert. But nonetheless, she's like a silent tornado. There is such a thing. And that is Audrey Robles. Congratulations on 5-star diamond in her second business center. So, she did it in her first business center, and now she is doing it on the second business center. So maybe by next week it'll be the third business center. I don't know. No pressure, Audrey. But congratulations, and I love to see what you're doing with your business and with your team. And I love listening to your daily light. So that's what you call them? Daily light, morning light? I forgot now. Daily light, right? Okay. Anyhow, I was almost forgetting. We have, this, if this doesn't happen on a weekly basis, it's going to feel weird to me. And that is, I think Mickey needs to go back and take a look at how many weeks Ivy Morales has been top sponsor, top Success Club earner, and top Challenge Pack sales. Congratulations, Ivy. Your consistency is just, a great example for all of us on this call and those who are not on the call, that if you really want something, you go after it and you do it. Seeing Ivy's name here week to week, to me, her name is synonymous with consistency. And so thank you, Ivy, for being a wonderful example of consistency for all of us. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Saudi so she can introduce our guest speaker. And I'm going to mute myself here.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? All right. I hope you're excited to hear from our amazing guest tonight. I know I am. She brings major fire to this team. I've heard her speak a few times, and I think we got her ranks a little bit confused, because she's just every week she's just advancing leaders on her team, and I'm super happy that that's happening. So without further ado, I have the pleasure of introducing our former HR professional, who is a fit mompreneur. I just love that word. Gabriela, which I call Gabby, saw the potential in this Beachbody business after her own transformation. Thank you, Papi. With T25, her husband is very supportive of her and her Beachbody business, and she is, I believe, 7-star combined or something. No, 6-star qualifying. Audrey's like blowing on my phone. No, I meant rank announcement. You know what? I don't know what her rank is. All I know is Audrey's like, wait, no, okay. Gabby, what is it?
6-star combined.
Yeah,
6-star combined. And I'm qualifying for 6 stars in my first business center.
It's just awesomeness, right? She is in the top 10 Latina coaches, which is super amazing to see her up there with the New York City Market Council, Latino Market Council that she's a part of, and the New York City Market Council. She is a Success Club 10 legend. She has 27 months in Success Club consecutive. Don't try to say that too fast. You might say a bad word. So without further ado, Gabby, it's all yours. I'm excited to hear from you.
Thank you. So let me share I can share my screen, right? Let me share.
I think so.
All right, here we go. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so here we go. How do I move this out of the way? All right. All right, so I want to spend, I was asked to speak about how to close, and I feel that since I started my business, I've spent a lot of time in the phase. So we hear about all 4 vital behaviors. We have a new one obviously now, which is recognize, recognize, recognize. And we have to spend a lot of time obviously doing all 4 vital behaviors, as well as learning how to tell our story on social media. But none of that, in which is vital, obviously vital behaviors and telling your story so that people connect with you. But none of that is important if once you've made that connection and people are in front of you, none of that is important if you don't know how to close them, right? So we're gonna spend some time learning how to interview. This is like my favorite thing to do. And I teach all my coaches how to do this, because if you're able to find the need that the individual has and you're able to connect them with the appropriate solution, then you have yourself a close. And so we're going to peel the layers back through an interview process. So think about an onion and we're going to start to peel it. All right. So remember, don't skip this process. 80% of the time you need to spend it here. And you're going to be asking the questions. So remember that the person who is asking the question, that's the person who controls the conversation. So at whatever point, if they, have questions and they start to ask you a lot of questions, you got to respond very quickly and ask another question. You want to gain the control back of the conversation. So the first thing that I'm going to give you some questions, and then I'm going to walk you through some tips. So the first question that you want to ask when someone, let's say you posted a call to action, let's say that you, message, you were following up, you invited some people, and now you have their attention, and now they're asking you, tell me more. Right away, you're not going to respond with information. Never, ever, ever do that. What you're going to do at that point is you're going to immediately start your interview process. The first question is going to be, what piqued your interest? What interests you about, my call to action? Well, you're not going to say call to action, but what interests you about my invitation, right? So then they're going to speak. They're going to tell you, I want to lose some weight, or my nutrition's horrible, so you're going to be listening. Remember, you're going to ask, and then you're going to shut, and then you're going to pay attention. What I tell some of my newer coaches is that, I don't want them to be focused on what to ask next. So what you want to do is have maybe a piece of paper with all these questions next to you so that you know exactly what you're asking, and then write down their response so that later on you're going to be able to utilize this to your advantage. All right. So that's the first question. What piqued your interest? The second one is, what have you tried already? What have you tried already? The third one, what's working for you? Fourth one, what's not working for you? And the reason we want to ask these questions is because we don't want to recommend something to them that they've already tried and that didn't work out for them. So you're going to lose them right away if you're recommending things that they've already tried, things that they didn't like, things that they didn't, enjoy, or that it worked for them. So Fifth question, how's your nutrition? Is that a strength or is that a weakness? All right. So, and typically, probably like 95% of the individuals are going to tell you that's a weakness. A lot of people, you know, struggle with nutrition. A lot of them. I know I did when I first started. So, your sixth question is going to be, do you struggle with cravings? I know I do, and I think everyone struggles with cravings. And you want to ask them, what kind of cravings do you struggle with? The majority of the people struggle with sugar, and so obviously that's gonna, you know, light up a bulb in your head, and you know this person needs Shakeology, because that's what Shakeology does. But this is not the time for you to start talking about Shakeology. This is not the time for you to start vomiting. I know, guys, that when I first started, I didn't have any of these questions, you know, put together. It was through trial and error. And, you know, I had put myself out there, and I, you know, when I asked questions and maybe it went well, I knew that I needed to ask that question with my following person. And if that didn't go well, if I asked the question and I didn't really get, you know, good response, I knew that I needed to not ask that again. But you want to make sure that you are focusing on the things that are working out for you. And like I said, it's a trial and error kind of questions. I know that when I did do that in the past, what happened is that you lose the person, right? We're so excited, especially new coaches, we're so excited to share everything we know about Shakeology and everything about the challenge group, but that's not the time to do it. So just remember, they, you know, maybe they have struggles with cravings and what those struggles are. The seventh question is, do you have any injuries? This is really, really important. Maybe recommend Insanity for someone who, you know, has issues with their, can you guys hear me? It says my connection is, can you hear me? I think my connection is bad.
It is. You're like lagging.
Right? Hang on one sec. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It gave me like a warning. All right. So, so the seventh question was, do you have any injuries? So we want to find out physically if this person is okay, you know, to work out or what they're struggling with. Because, for example, let's say someone has issues with their knees. You don't want to recommend for them to do Insanity, right? So we have to know our product list, because we want to make sure that we're able to recommend the correct product, the correct program for this individual. All right. So make sure that you are asking that question. The eighth question is, what kind of exercise do you like? What do you dislike? What do you despise? Because this is super, super important. Let's say, I know many people who hate cardio. And then, you know, let's say T25 is on sale. And you're like, it's $160 or whatever it is, $140, and you just want to, you know, sell some challenge packs. And this person hates cardio, but you never ask that question. When they get that program, it's a major fail. And they're going to send it back, and you're going to have yourself a very unhappy challenger and possibly not a future coach. So you want to make sure that you are asking the right questions. Make sure that you are able to connect them with the correct program based on what they like and dislike. All right. And then the ninth question is, tell me a little bit about your nutrition. I spent a lot of time here because, like I said earlier, about 95% of the people struggle with nutrition. So I focus a lot of my time. So I tell them, walk me through a day in your life, nutrition-wise. And I let them walk me through, you know, breakfast all the way to dinner. Do they have, you know, any snacks in between? Do they drink water? And if they work, I always ask this question, you know, do you bring your lunch into work, or do you buy your lunch? And if they tell me they buy their lunch, I ask them, you know, depending on where they work, how much are you spending every day on lunch? are you buying breakfast? You know, how much are you spending on that? Because then you have that in the back of your mind that you can utilize them when they try to give you an objection, a money objection, right? So I add it up for them. I say things like, okay, so you're spending, let's say they're spending like $10, you know, a day. I tell them, okay, so it's fair to say that you are spending $50 a week, $200 a month, right? And then sometimes they don't even know that they're spending all this money because it's a habit. It's something that they do on a weekly basis, right? And they don't even notice it. So ask that question about nutrition, all right? Let's see. The other one is, why do you want to lose weight? This is when you start to get into their why. This is when you start to create that emotional response. If there's no emotional response, there's no need for them to want to join you. There's no need for them to want to get that help that you are able to provide them with, all right? So this is when you're going to start digging deep. Something that I started to use that definitely has helped, and at first I was a little skeptical in using, but I heard another coach, I can't remember her name, use it on one of the calls, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna try that, even though it can be a little scary at first. I asked them, you know, tell me, because some people are gonna give you that superficial reason. You know, they might say, oh, you know, I wanna look good in a bathing suit. But is that really, you know, is that an emotional response? It really isn't. You know, why do they want to lose, you know, weight to look good in a bathing suit? That's the real question, and that's what you need to ask them. You know, you're gonna obviously validate that they responded to that and say, that's wonderful. You know, why is it that you want to look great in a bathing suit? So just make sure that you continue to dig deep until you know that there is a real connection. I know for me, when people give me superficial, you know when it's a superficial response. I know that if I don't dig deeper, then I'm gonna lose, you know, that person. And so I continue to dig deep. So things like, for example, there's a lot of moms. I obviously get a lot of my followers are moms because I'm also a mother, and I get a lot of, you know, my kids are just starting kindergarten, and you know, I don't want to be that mother. You know, I don't want my kids to think, oh, my mom is fat, or you know, whatever it is that they've told me. I mean, that is an emotional response, because that's deep. You know that's what's going to make them get up every day and press play and eat healthy and drink their shake. So you have to be able to, you know that they are responding with an emotional response. So the question that I started to ask lately is, when you see yourself in the mirror, what do you see in return? That'll elicit, right, an emotional response. If you're having a difficult time, breaking that barrier for them to open up, make sure that you're asking that question. Let them share, but you don't want to leave them there, because that's a negative place. You don't want to leave them there. So now we want to, finish the interview phase with a positive response from them. So now we want to ask them, all right, so now what would you like to see in the mirror? What would you like to feel like? So that they are able to now connect positively, and also you're creating hope and you're creating excitement. And so that's where you want to leave them, in that positive environment, right? So that's when it comes to finalizing your interview phase. So, all right, let me move this. I feel like I see the little faces. I have to keep moving them. All right, so now I know that many of us have heard about form. Many of us, you hear, make sure you're forming your challengers and your coaches, but we never really hear about signs. So today I'm going to discuss a little bit about both. So as you are asking these questions, you are forming the individual, and you are signing the individual. So form, for our newer coaches, that means you're finding out about their family. Do they have kids? Are they married? Are they single? So you want to find, the structure of their family. Occupation, what do they do for a living? Are they a stay-at-home mom? Or, are they working 40 to 60 hours a week? Recreation, you're finding out what excites them, or what kind of commitments do they have when it comes to recreation. What do they do outside of the home to stay engaged? And then the message. But prior to the message, and the message is obviously, when you're asking them to join your challenge group or asking them to join your team, you're finding out their strengths while you are, asking these questions. What are their strengths? What are their interests? What are their goals? We are supposed to ask these questions from our challengers, not only our coaches. We tend to only ask our coaches, what they would like to accomplish in what time frame, because we're doing that getting started right call with them. But why aren't we asking the same of our challengers? What are their goals? What do they want to accomplish? And what are their needs? So make sure that you are forming and that you are signing. All right. Another tip is get them on a roll to say yes. Get them on a yes roll. All right. Great closers ask a lot of questions, but not just any questions. We ask the right questions, right? The more you get your potential client or coach saying yes, when you talk to them, the more likely they're going to say yes when you close them. So questions, for example, like, you've already gotten all the information from them and you're about to close them. So you want to elicit a lot of yeses, right? So you're going to say things like, so you want to lose 15 pounds in 21 days, correct? Right? And you say yes, right? They're going to say yes to you. Okay, and you tell me that you are, super busy, that you work 60 hours a week, and that all you really have is 30 minutes a day to work out. Is that correct? Yes. So the more you get them to say yes, the more likely it is going to, they're going to give you a yes when you ask them to join. All right. All right. So empathize. If you don't know the true root of their pain, it's not time to present or close. You're going to keep digging. So we have to remember that we typically, as individuals, close ourselves. No one really has to close us. We have to ask the right questions to help that individual close themselves. They've come to us because they have a need and they have a want, right? But they're confused. They don't know what it is that they need, and they don't know, they might know what they want, but they don't know how to get there. And our responsibility as coaches is to help them get there. So if you feel that they're not excited enough, or that you don't know what their pain is, then it's not time for you to invite them to join, and you need to continue to form them. You need to continue to sign them, because that's what's going to get you the close. Knowing what's going, what the root of the issue is. Because think about this: when people buy, I don't know, cars, for example, or when you buy a TV, right? You buy it the majority of the time. I don't think there's a lot of people who make a plan out of it and say, you know what, let's see, do we really need a TV at home? These are the pros and these are the cons. No, people go and to a store and they look at a TV, they feel like it's amazing, they fall in love with the features and they buy on the spot, right? Because they were excited. And then maybe once they get home, the purchase is already done. So you want to make sure that you get them excited, or that you know what the what's causing the pain, so that you can, elicit that close. Avoid verbally vomiting any kind of info at all. All right. So make sure that you are not vomiting. And I know, again, I mentioned that a little earlier. It is really hard as a new coach, because you're so excited that you want to tell them how amazing you feel in Shakeology, how amazing the community is, how amazing your challenge group is. But we don't want to do that, because we turn them away. All right. So remember, the person who is asking the questions is the person who has control of that conversation. All right. Just remember that the more listening you do, the better. Sometimes I always recommend that you get this person on the phone to ask them all these questions. I mean, there are coaches who like to do it via email. That's a choice. You know, some people do it via private message. I always recommend the phone because the person can hear your excitement. The person can hear how excited you are. The person also, you know, can tell that you genuinely want to help them. You can't really tell that from an email or from a private message. So make sure that, you know, you aren't afraid of getting these individuals on the phone because you're only asking questions. So remember that. There's not a lot of talking that you have to do. You're asking and letting them respond. So ask the right questions because they will come to their own conclusion. They will close themselves. All right. Build bridges and be relatable. People do business with people they like and trust, period. So what does this mean? This means that while you are having the conversation and you're asking questions and you're interviewing and you're forming and you're signing, you want to build a bridge. You want to build trust with this individual. And this, I don't have a template for because this is something you do naturally. This has to be very organic. You know, so let's say I'm having a conversation with a mom who has a 3-year-old. Boom, there's my bridge. Now I've become relatable and I'll say, oh my God, my son Matias is 3 years old. You know, and then I can, you know, it might go off a little bit on tangent, not a lot, but you've now created a bond with this individual. You know, now they know that you're a mom as well, that you are, you know, a mom of a 3-year-old. So now they trust you. So people do business with people they like and trust. All right. Share stories. Remember, facts tell, stories sell. Connect them by sharing success stories that they can relate to so that they can see that someone like them has already been successful with this opportunity. I always love to collect stories. Why? Because I can't be relatable to everybody. It's just impossible, right? Sometimes I speak with men. Sometimes I speak with ladies that that might be married but don't have any kids, or even single individuals. So I have to have, stories ready so that I can be able to say, oh my goodness, you know, this challenger of mine was able to accomplish, you know, these amazing results, and she has, you know, 2 kids and works a full-time job and blah, 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 blah. There, I've been able to say someone like you in your same shoes was able to have, you know, amazing results. All right. Learn a few new stories. Always have a success story in your back pocket. So make sure that you're learning new stories. You know, I would recommend that if you don't have enough stories that can relate to your challengers or your prospects, I would say reach out to your coaches or reach out to your upline coaches. You know, there's a ton of coaches in Team Eagle that are willing to share their stories. And then the other thing that has worked for me is screenshots and pictures of testimonial. That really adds some proof. What I like to do is that if I feel like someone's on the fence or someone's like, you know, iffy, I'm able to say, let me share, you know, the results of such and such. But obviously, if you're sharing someone's story or pictures, you want to ask permission that you know, you're able to utilize these. But people really connect with that, right? Or the other thing I do is that I tell them, go to my album on Facebook and look for the transformation album. There's a ton of success stories there, right? You always want to be able to provide those success stories so that they know that they are going to be able to achieve these results as well. All right. This is something that, you know, you are going to answer their objections even before they raise them by sharing stories. All right. This is really simple, and as simple and crazy as it might seem, it really really does a lot. It has a lot of power in it when you use the individual's name. It elicits positive emotions and reaction, and it establishes a connection. You know, you're addressing someone by their name. You know, you're calling them by their name, not just, you know, talking. You know, you're giving them their place. They're special. They're a special individual. So you want to be able to call them by their name. All right. Now, it's time to close. Based off of the info that they have already given you, it's time to make a strong recommendation. We have a challenge pack, which I think is like the best thing ever. Our business is so different and so unique because of the fact that we're able to provide someone not just with a fitness program, but we're able to connect them with a nutrition plan that they don't get at a gym. We're able to connect them with a nutritious, shake that is full of superfoods and it has amazing benefits for them. And most importantly, they're going to get support in a challenge group. That's like the equation for success. So you are going to make a strong recommendation for them based on their need, based on what they told you they needed and they wanted. And you are going to say, you know, you're going to walk them through what it is that they're going to receive. And this is why I'm recommending this, because you said X, Y, and Z, right? So assume they're going to say yes and use words like, when you enroll, you'll want to do X, Y, and Z. You must believe, guys, because if they sense any type of doubt in your voice, it comes across. They can feel it. Even if you're typing, right, they can sense that energy. So you have to believe that what we have is the solution for them. So, you know, when you enroll, I can't, you know, I typically say things like, when you finish the 21-day program, you're going to have amazing results. I really cannot wait to see your transformation. Because now you're also putting that in their heads that they're going to complete this program. They're going to have amazing results. Be the leader. People are confused and they don't know what they want. That's what they're coming to you for. So again, that's what I said earlier. People know they want something. They're confused. They might have tried a million things, you know, that haven't worked. So they are iffy, right? Because they're like, how about if I try this and it doesn't work? This is why you want to have that posture that you know this is going to work for them. Also, do not squirm when you talk about the price. You put the price objection right out of them. Believe in the value of what we have to offer. I always, you know, tell my coaches, yeah, Shakeology is $130. But if you break down the price, that's like what, like $4 and change, like $44.33 or something like that. That's less than a Starbucks drink. And if you have to say it like that, say it like that. Because Starbucks, it's not going to get them the nutrients that Shakeology is going to get them. But this way they're able to compare, and they're able to compare not just the price, but the value, right? So you want to make sure that you believe in the product. And then when you're speaking about the price, you know it's a good price. Whatever it is, whether it's just Shakeology or whether it is a challenge pack. So I'm able to always break it down if you need to, you know, maybe by 30 days. So 21-day fix is on sale this month. And if you say, you know, divide it into 30 days, it's going to be like $4.66, which is amazing, right? So believe in what we have and don't squirm when you're talking about the price. And then be sincere. People can tell if you're just trying to get them to buy something. Make sure that you have their best interest at heart, not ours. You know, while, you know, our business is measured by, you know, Success Club is people we're helping. So don't forget that. Don't forget that, you know, we're really a business type of, we're a people type of business. So you want to make sure that you have always the best interest of the individual. All right, tips. Never argue. never argue with their objections. The objection isn't about you, so don't take it personal. So that's another thing. Don't ever, 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 ever take anything personal that someone's saying, because, you know, if they are having doubts, they're having doubts, you know, personally. It's not about you. It's not about the product. So make sure that you are validating their concern, that you're validating their concern, their questions or their doubts, right? Because they're valid, it's theirs, and they're feeling it. So we have to validate them, and always use the feel, felt, found method. So let's say someone says something like, let's say, you know, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and so let's say someone comes to me who's a stay-at-home mom and says, I have no time to work out, can't even, you know, pull 30 minutes, and I have this and that and the other to do, right? So I'm able to connect with them on that level and say, you know, you want to validate. So you want to say, yes, I totally understand why you feel that way. I know I felt that way when I first started my first challenge group back, you know, 2 years ago. But what I found was that blah, 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 right? Now you validated them and you're able to tell them that you felt the same way and that this is what you found, you know, through the process. Don't be disappointed with a no. No really means no right now. They are probably still fearful, right? Or they just need more information. So don't ever take it personal. I know that as humans, we are quick to do that. We are quick to take, you know, those no's personal. They might not be ready mentally right now. And at the end of the day, you don't want to have a challenger who's not ready in your challenge group, because they're going to buy a challenge pack and it's going to sit there. Have you done your job as a coach if it just sits on their table? No. I know I feel horrible when that happens. Or even a coach, right? If you're signing up a coach who's mentally not ready to work this business, you know, they're signing up and they're not going to do anything with it. So remember, it's not about you. You always have to detach yourself from the outcome. And then kiss them. Not literally, but kiss, right? Keep it simple, silly. If you give them too much information, you're going to lose them. You know, if you say, oh, you know, you might be able to do T25 because blah, 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 blah. And actually, though, I think that, you know, you'll do good in in the 21-day fix. Oh, but there's a great sale going on right now with da-da-da. Now you've given them 3 options. They don't know what you're talking about, and you just lost them. So keep it simple. Recommend one program, and you tell them why. All right? So for a customer, what I typically do is typically, if I'm closing them on that call, I don't share anything. They don't ask me for a video. They just give me their information because I'm assuming that call. But if they need more information, because there are some people that need to see something, need more information, they need to touch stuff, visually see stuff. So if you need to share something, share video or details about your challenge group, more information, right? How it'll benefit them and why you recommend it for them. So if you are recommending the 21-day fix, I would send maybe the 21-day fix video, or I would send the Shakeology video. That's an important one, right? We have to learn how to talk about Shakeology. That's our flagship product. So let them know there's limited spots available. You have to create urgency. You have to create urgency. You know, you want to be able, when you're speaking to these individuals, tell them that your group is the bomb, basically, right? You have to create that value, and you have to basically show them that they have to earn a spot in your group. So make sure that you're creating that urgency and you're telling them there's limited amount of spots left and that your group is starting on such and such date, and the last day to enroll, you know, is whatever day it is, so that they know that they have a time frame to meet. For a potential coach, all right, so same scenario, I would get them on the phone. It's just gonna flow better. So if you had a call to action for maybe a sneak peek, or maybe you know, you have your training call to action that's starting for new coaches, and someone reaches out to you, or maybe you send some invitations and someone says, hey, tell me a little bit more about, this coaching thing. So before you get them on the call, you're going to have to schedule that call. You want to make sure that they've watched a video about coaching, so that when they get on that phone call, they already know what they're coming into. You don't want to start explaining what coaching is on that phone. So what you want to do is, you want to send them a video, maybe even put them like on a sneak peek, or send them like an opportunity call that you've recorded yourself. So that would be good. And then you want to schedule a phone call with them, right? Because you are a business owner, so you want to be able to schedule those calls. Just like you wouldn't call your accountant, without having an appointment, you wouldn't want these individuals calling you whenever they feel like they can. So schedule that and then follow up. Remember, the person that asks the questions control the conversation. So don't let them start asking you a whole bunch of questions, right? You are going to basically have control of that conversation. I'm going to give you some questions that you can ask when you are interviewing a coach potential. And then position yourself as a 15-star diamond coach or a CEO. Your confidence is going to be attractive. That's what people like, your posture. People don't care what you know. They really care about what if you care about them and their goals and their needs. So if you're positive and you have total confidence on this business, they're going to be attracted to that, all right? And then you are someone of value to them. So do not beg, not a coach and not a prospect. And we are not in the convincing business either. You're not going to convince anyone to do anything. When I have new coaches and when they tell me, what do I need to say to convince this person? I literally cringe, because we are not in the convincing business. Someone joins you because they're ready to join you, and because you've, interviewed them and you've been able to present a solution to the problem and the need they have. So make sure that you know that you are someone of value. So these are the interview questions for a coach. So once they've watched the video, you got them on the call, what did you like best about what you watched? Can you tell me more about that? So once they tell you, right, you're going to dig deeper into that answer. Are you already working? What kind of jobs have you done in the past? Because this is where you're going to find strengths in this individual so that you can match those with being a coach. So, for example, someone who is an office manager, this is someone who has to be, very organized, right? Their time skills are on point, because there's a lot of things happening in that office and they need to make sure that everything is running smoothly. So you are able to say things like, oh my goodness, so you must have some amazing organizational skills. That's going to be amazing when you join this team because of X, Y, and Z. Are you self-motivated? That's another question. Remember, guys, we are not anyone's bosses. We're not anyone's manager. And the last thing you want is to be reminding people, did you do your power hour? Did you invite today? Did you do your workout? Did you drink your shake? Did you post on social media? That's not our job. I know that, we love our coaches and we want them to be successful, but that's not our job. I know that they probably didn't sign up to have another boss, and we don't want to be anyone's boss either. So are they self-motivated? What do you want to get out of this business? And if it's money related, do you want it to just cover your products, or do you want, you're looking for more concrete income and what do you want this for? What do you want more money for? And then how much time a week can you commit to your business? Right here, when you're interviewing these individuals, you're listening to those responses and you're taking this very seriously, because if someone says, I think I can commit about, 20 minutes a day, you have to be honest. And even if, that response is going to allow you to say, listen, I know that if you have an hour a day, you can work this business on a part-time basis for an hour. Even if you split it, you do half hour in the morning and half hour, at night, that's perfectly fine. But if they tell you that they cannot commit to an hour, then you have to cut them loose, because you know that you can't work this business with 20 minutes a day. And it has to be on a consistent basis, right? And then that might just mean that they're going to say, wait a minute, maybe I can pull, because your posture is letting them know that I'm not going to set you up for failure. I want you to succeed. So because I want you to succeed, then you need at least an hour. And if you can't find an hour, then we can't be business partners. And that's as simple as it gets. Obviously, you're going to tell them in a nice way, but it is what it is, right? And then the last question is, tell me why you should earn a spot as a coach on Team Eagle, or whatever your team name is. And then let them tell you why. Let them sell themselves. It's like an interview, right? When you go for a job, you have to sell yourself. So let them sell themselves to earn a position in your team. And then you assume the close and walk them through the sign up. So obviously, you're going, once they've answered and it's a match and everyone's excited, you're going to say, this is amazing. You're going to be a great addition to the team. We're so excited to have you in the team. Welcome to the team. These are the two ways you can sign up. And then you mentioned the first way is they pay the $40 to enroll, and then they'll get Shakeology at a discounted rate. Or the second one, which makes more sense, is signing up with a challenge pack, because the fee gets waived. They get a fitness program as well as a nutrition plan. And obviously you mentioned both, and you tell them, obviously the second option is better all around. But check what I did there. You are not allowing anyone to sign up as a coach without any products, because you're setting them up to fail, because they need to be proof the product works. They need to be, right, just proof of the product. So they can't come in here trying to be a coach without doing any of the programs. And it's one of our vital behaviors. So you have to talk about that right off the top. All right. So now go for no. Remember, detach yourself from the outcome. It's not about you, it's about them. 80% of your time should be spent peeling the layers of this onion. If you're getting a ton of no's, it's because you're not spending enough time here, guys. So form and sign. Be sure that you're doing that. On an average, 1 to 10 people will say yes. So it takes about 3 months to build your funnel, your pipeline. So make sure that, you are consistently asking all these right questions so that people can start to spit out that yes. Always work from a list. If you don't have a list, you don't have a business. It's like I always tell my coaches, right? If you run into Starbucks because you have, you want a cup of coffee, and you run into Starbucks and you say, hey, can I have a cup of coffee or whatever? And they say, oh no, we ran out. You'll feel like, what? This doesn't make sense, because they're known, to have coffee. So make sure that we are in a people business. We have to have a list of names so that we are able to speak to people on a daily basis. Keep track of the people you talk to. The fortune is in the follow-ups. How many times have you heard that? Create an interest list on Facebook for potential coaches or potential customers. You can Google that. I'm pretty sure there's files on Team Eagle that show you how to create those interest lists on Facebook, right? And stay connected as a friend if these individuals are not ready right now. And then always be willing to offer something for free. Free advice, time, resources, a free meal plan. Be their go-to person for when they are ready. I've had many people tell me, maybe they truly didn't have the money to, invest at that point. So what did we do? All we did was, I made sure that I provided some sort of resource, whether it was a meal plan or whether it was, me adding them to my free motivational group, right? So make sure that you're always giving back to people, and then never cross someone off your list until they have signed up, ever. And that is it. That's what I have for you guys.
Thank you so much, Gabby. That was awesome. All right. I thank you guys for being on the call tonight. I have a little call to action for all of you, based on everything that Gabby shared. I hope you guys are not feeling like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this all wrong, because there is no right or wrong way to go about developing yourself as a coach. And all those things that you may think in your head that you're not doing enough of, or you're doing too much of, or you're saying too much of this and maybe not enough of that. Oh my God, I never asked those questions. What I want to ask you guys, Buddha, come on, please. What I want to ask you guys to do tonight is to be okay with where you are in your coaching business, and just take a moment to accept yourself as you are. I'm reading this book called The Miracle Morning, and one of my favorite quotes is, the moment you accept responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you can change everything in your life. And when I look back at some of the things I used to say and some of the things that I used to do, I would not change a thing. Because Buddha, stop. Because if I did, then I would have never learned. I would have never learned the things that I know now. And it's almost as if you have to vomit and you have to go through the struggles before you get to where Gabby is in her business. I'm sure if Gabby looked at some of the things she said in the beginning, it would not look like what it does now. Gabby, do you agree, right? You have to learn.
Agree. Absolutely.
Let me, hold on. Buddha. Come on. Freaking spoiled brat that he is. I swear, you guys have no idea what my life is really like with this dog. All right. So what I want to leave you guys with tonight is, before you go crazy and you try to, redo every conversation you're having, I want you to accept yourself and do a better job at sharing your gifts tonight. Go live. Go, Buddha, are you really going to back up? My family is not cooperating with me. Bianca, come here. Let him be on the call. Come on. Go live tonight on your public wall and share a little bit of you. It doesn't have to be long. Take a piece of paper right now and just write 3 things that you can talk about that have to do with your upcoming challenge, but talk about your journey within that conversation that you're going to have with people. So maybe have 3 bullet points where you want to make sure you talk about why you want people to join your challenge and what it has done for you. It's real easy to get people to close when they relate to you. Like Gabby talked about so many things that is just so clear to me as to why people say yes to me. It's not what I'm saying. It's not my script. It's that they feel my vibe, And, she did a great job as to how you can get people to like you and connect with you by some of the questions that she shared. Which, Gabby, I hope you share the questions later with them on the team page. Because you can even write down those questions. Look at this pig. Write down those questions so that you have your 3 bullets as to what you're going to say. And don't be afraid of going live, guys. It's really not what you think it is. You don't have to be perfect. What you want to make sure in your head that the message needs to be more about what you're putting out there when it comes to your vibe. Like when you see me speak, people are not paying attention to what I'm saying. All people see is that I'm Latina, I have no filter, I have this crazy dog, I'm always out and about. Like people connect with me, not because of what I'm saying. Sometimes I say things that don't even make sense and nobody notices. So look at Edith laughing. People are looking for somebody that they connect with. So if you can do that for me and for Edith tonight, because her and I premeditated this, do that. We challenge you to do that. And maybe we'll even do a little contest, but just go live on your public wall and break those fears that you have, and start connecting with your clients, and then go do a power hour and follow up. Because I bet you when you go and you just say hi to everybody that you've been talking to all month and last month and the month before that, they're going to go to your wall. I promise you they're going to go to your wall because they are watching you. They want to know if you're doing a good job as a coach. If you're working out, if you're drinking your shake and you're reading a book and it's not showing in your wall, they're not going to join you. That's the problem, guys. So I challenge you, go live. Let me know that you did it on the team page. Let's create some hype. And let's really end this month strong, guys. I believe in all of you. Edith and I both believe in you. We think you guys are going to rock this month. I'm tired of hearing that this month is hard. I'm tired of hearing that, you know, people are out. Guys, this is the best time to close deals. This is the best time to get people. You know why? Because people are wearing less and less clothes. People are eating more and more junk. It is disgusting to see how many people are like standing in corners just because it's hot outside and they're eating crap. You know, I went to the car wash the other night and people are eating freaking, I'm like, it's too hot to be eating chicken fingers with French fries. Dude, like eat a freaking, drink a shake, you know? So go out there, do your thing, go live, post it in the team page, and Edith, I'm turning it back over to you because this guy is like heavy. And thank you, Gabby. You did amazing.
Great call, Gabby. Thank you so much. And I'll just reiterate what Saudi said. If you could share the questions on the team page, just for those who maybe missed them. I know there were some questions about, oh, which one was number one? I think it was answered, but I don't know if there were any other questions regarding that. So just to minimize questions, that would be great. But no, do your thing, everyone, and have a good night. There's still time left of the day to get a power hour in, get a workout in, to go live. What else? There's more we can do, and we'll have a whole lot of time.
Do it all, guys.
It's early.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Don't give up. You know, the one that fights till the end is the one that wins, guys. And you'll just set yourself up for next month to be in a better position in your business.
Awesome. Have a good night, everyone. God bless.
Good night.